Hello everyone, welcome back to StraightA. Dawson here, back in another episode of the Fantasy Playbook, where I'm going through 8 different teams in 8 different leagues for one whole season to see what I can win a champion, and how many championships I can take home, baby, and how well I basically do in each of these leagues. So we're going to be going over them as time goes on, and each of the leagues have different stipulations. I'll try to remember to kind of bring them up as time goes on. That way we're kind of very clear. As you can see, I'm very wet. It's raining outside, and I was like, you know what? I just feel like recording a video. I don't care about anything else. I literally walked in my door, set myself down on the couch, and sat down in the chair. That's pretty much what I'm going to do because I am fired up and ready to play some fantasy football because I was at work and busyness. But in between the busyness, I was on my phone checking fantasy football stuff and getting waiver stuff, getting trades, getting whatever done. And so we have some interesting kind of talks to have. Before we get started, though, let's leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and comment suggestions for future videos below. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. So to break it down the best way I can of how my first week of fantasy football went, I went 4-4, essentially. So I won 4 games, and I lost 4 games. So I'm 1-0 in half my leagues and 0-1 in the other half. And weirdly enough, when I was looking through and seeing how I feel about each of the seasons and how I feel about my roster, number one, I feel all right about my roster in every single league. There are some I'm more worried about in others due to the format or due to the amount of players. But overall, I at least feel like I have a good platform to stand on. Now, with that said, I have broken down the leagues in my head to kind of 3 different categories as well. 3 leagues, I think I have a very good chance of being a contender. Basically, top 4 guy in the league, consistently winning and winning and winning. Then I think there's about 3 leagues that I am kind of in the middle ground where, honestly, a lot of could make or break. We'll have to see where the kind of dominoes fall. Then I think there are 2 leagues I am struggling big time in to actually, keep up. And to actually maybe even try for a wild card. So we'll see how that kind of actually pans out to be. But it's a very curious situation to be in, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll kind of mention those as it goes. And of course, some of these are half PPR, some of these are PPR, some of these are super flex. I'll mention the stipulations as I go, and we'll try to quickly go through the previous matchups and my opinions, as well as my current players going into next season or going into next week. So, first of all, doggy style. Of course, this is a half PPR league with a bunch of milestone stipulations. Hitting rugs is the name. And I won by 26 points, and it was pretty dang easy. This is the commissioner, so getting him 0-1 in the very beginning feels very, very good. He actually kind of scared me with his running backs doing better than my running backs, which I was not expecting. But his receivers really fought the bed, and Chris Godwin really went off. Jaden Daniels was a really big godsend. Plus, Alvin Kamara, Jake Moody also did fucking fantabulous, so I feel very good. Devin Singletary, I think in the coming weeks will get better. Dalton Kincaid, I'm not really worried about in the coming weeks. Cortland Sutton, he got the targets. He's going to get the catches eventually. In my depth, I'm not going to have too many comments except for Brandon Ayuk. Obviously, will get more work as time goes on. Very good matchup. Very good game for him. But unfortunately for him, I was the 3rd highest scoring team this week. And now I'm going against the worst scoring, or the 2nd worst scoring team in the league. And Cade is his name. And he's projected 103 at 35%. Basically beat me. Jared Goff versus Jaden Daniels. Very easy matchup. James Cook and Travis Etienne against Derrick Henry and Kyron Williams. Again, I think I have a very favorable matchup in the running backs, but we'll see. Calvin Ridley, Joshua Palmer against Chris Godwin and Brandon Ayuk, who are my current starting lineups. I think this should be pretty easy as well. Dalton Kincaid, Mark Andrews pretty even. David Montgomery and Alvin Kamara pretty even. Cortland Sutton, Zamir White. I think Cortland Sutton's better, but Zamir White, you never know. Tyler Bass, Jake Moody, 49ers and Ravens. I'm not too worried because Ravens defense could actually stomp the Raiders, so we'll see. But 49ers against Minnesota, same case there. I picked up on the waivers. I didn't pick up on the waivers. I haven't used the waivers at all, so I didn't use Fab. I didn't use waivers. I just did 3 pickups basically throughout the whole week. Alexander Madison was my pickup. I dropped Tyler Boyd. That could be a mistake, but I like Alexander Madison, and I want to have a nice little running back clutch in the back burner. I also picked up Keaton Mitchell. So I dropped Tyler Boyd, picked up Keaton Mitchell, put him in my pup as a kind of a late game handcuff, probably around week 9 to 10, 11. I think that's when he'll take over the role when he comes back. So we'll see, especially if they're doing well. So it's an investment, but as long as I don't have any injuries, I don't really care about having him on my pup. So I just was like, might as well do it because I like him. And Alexander Madison being my running back pickup because he looked good week 1. We'll see. We'll talk about some other people. I thought about picking up Fields because he's in the league and he's currently the starter, but I think Jaden Daniels is just way too good. And yeah, I picked up everybody else I wanted. So pretty good. We'll see how the matchup goes, but I'm pretty favored, and this is the league I feel really confident in. I like my team. I like my matchups. And I think I'm the third best team in the league. We'll talk about them in other days when we face off against some of the better teams. But I was the third highest scoring guy. And I do think there are two teams that are pretty damn tough in this league. Going into the next one, King of the Cup. This is the 48-man league. So this is going to be like broken down to 12-man. So we're in a 12-man standard league, standard scoring league. But it's broken down to 4 leagues, which will face off in the playoffs. So it's a 13-week regular season. And we won. Kyler Murray, Jaden Reed was the big story there. Cooper Kupp also went off. A.J. Brown didn't do bad. Kyler Murray was suitable. Everybody did their job to part, and he just flopped. 52 points. Joe Burrow, Jahmyr Gibbs, Javonte, Marvin Harrison, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams. No one did anything on his team. It's a very favorable matchup for me, and I will take it in a heartbeat. I didn't do any. The only changes we are currently making is that I have the current first. So this is me and Ben's league as well. We have the current first waiver wire pickup. And since the league only lets you have 5 receivers and 5 running backs, I'm sticking with Kenneth Gainwell for him for now because apparently he's fucking good, according to Ben. Or he's going to be taking over that role eventually, according to Ben. Other than that, Khalil Herbert's the only guy I would drop, but there's not really anybody on the waivers. I'm like, I'm good keeping Herbert for now in this league. But Isaiah Likely, he obviously popped off last week. I don't think he'll be the number 1 guy there still, but I think having him as a second tight end as a possible flex option if he does pan out is a perfectly viable option here, especially in this league where it caps you at 5 receivers, 5 running backs, and we need more flex options where we can. So I feel pretty good here. Going into this week's matchup, I guess I have to go to Scoreboard Fantasy Cast. Also going to be it's going to be a very good matchup, but he has some injuries hurting him this week. Kyler Murray against Jalen Hurts, it's going to be a close one. Kyron Williams against Christian McCaffrey, normally be a pretty good bout, except Christian McCaffrey probably kill me. But Christian McCaffrey actually is probably going to be out this week, so he's going to move up someone like Ramondre Stevenson and kind of go from there. So I have a very favorable matchup there. Chuba against Devon Achane, I'm going to get fucking smacked there. Brown against Stephon Diggs, I feel very good about that. Cooper Kupp against Rashid, 100% good there. Sam Laporta against Dalton Kincaid, love it. Mari Cooper against basically either Cortland Sutton, T. Higgins, somebody, and I think he wins all matchups. Khalil Shakir, very high bar there. Isaiah Likely may go there. We're still kind of going back and forth between Isaiah Likely and Khalil Shakir there, but I'll probably keep Shakir for now. Seahawks defense against New England, going to be great. Young Koku against Philly, great. Very favorable matchup. I think this is going to be a very good league. And I think this is a league that we also could very well win. It's a standard scoring league, but we have Cooper Kupp, who's going to be for several weeks the guy. And even when Puka does come back, he's still going to be the guy. Jonathan Brooks is an investment pick. Kyron Williams got a lot of snaps. Kyler Murray's amazing. Sam Laporta is a great tight end. And we have good depth. We have very, very good depth. Jaden Reed's a very viable option at flex. Amari Cooper is. Khalil Shakir. We just have good depth and consistency, and that's what I like about this team. So I think we're going to win this week as well. Going into this weekend, that didn't pop up my previous week, is Chase the Dream. This is a super flex league that I accidentally auto-drafted, and it sucked. Let's just say that. This is a league I feel like I am not going to do well in at all. I scored 114 to 135 against my opponent. Justin Herbert, whatever, he's a quarterback. He'll sometimes have good weeks, sometimes bad weeks. Ramondre Stevenson and Brian Robinson, I thought they were going to do shit all. They did a great. Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson didn't do amazing, but they were on the board. Evan Ingram, obviously no tight end got love, but Kyle Pitts got some love, so it hurt me there. Chris Olave, Michael Pittman did not get any fucking love, so Tony Pollard and Jane Daniels absolutely fucking destroyed me, and that's definitely where I lost. Now, granted, even keeping Chris Godwin in wouldn't have done anything for me, so you can take that as you will. Bears defense did really damn good, and I still lost. Other than that, it's a punter league as well. It's I think it's half PPR. I don't feel good about the league. I don't have a second quarterback. I have very good receivers and it's great flex options. I tried out some trades to get some better running back options and maybe a quarterback. But unless I literally trade for such bad value, I am not going to get anything. I've tried so many trades with these guys. The trade I thought was going to go through was Jefferson for Kenneth Walker and Jaden Daniels. Didn't go through. Obviously, and looking back at it, it's actually a pretty bad trade for that guy. So I considered doing Tony Pollard instead. But I can't do it. I can't pull the trigger because right now it'd be basically swapping out a flex option and giving me a slightly better quarterback who may or may not pop off or not. Jaden Daniels, I think that's a good trade. Don't get me wrong. I'm nervous about it, and I'd rather keep the deep receiver core. I think these 4 guys can carry my team, and Ramondre and Brian Robinson Jr. looked good enough that I actually feel good about it, especially with my investment picks and Marquise Brown, Jordan Addison, all good. Bo Nix, we'll see if he pans out. He could be a second quarterback option. We'll see. In the second, or in the actual waivers, I didn't pick up anybody. I didn't, what's it called, in this league. Did we pick up anybody? Isaiah Likely, that's what I said. We picked up Alexander Madison. Again, I like him. He's a good waiver pick this week. I dropped Khalil Herbert. Honestly, it was just because Alexander Madison was my favorite guy this week, and Khalil Herbert just wasn't doing anything. He's not going to do anything for now. This matchup's going to be pretty bad for me. Again, he has two quarterbacks, which against I know Malik is not great, but he's at least puts up points. So we'll see if that actually pans out. He's got a pretty much favorable matchup against me across the board, except for receivers. I have 4 receivers, and that could do well, but Malik Willis kind of knocked out Chris Olave anyway because of the quarterback just being naturally good. I do think I have a sneaky chance in this game. I know it gets me 55-45, basically a 12-point difference here. But Anthony Richardson, Breece Hall, and Jonathan Taylor are probably going to kill me in this league. It's going to be pretty bad. We'll see how my receivers do. That's really where I'm kind of banking on in this league for now, and we'll play it by ear in this league. I didn't use any fab, so we'll move on, but don't feel very good about this league, so that's one of my bad leagues. Then we got my Sigma Chi League. Basically, it's just a fun little league with 10 of us who half of the people don't know football. Probably like 3 people actually don't know football, but they sports bet, so we'll see. I know it's giving me a 110 to 127, but currently I am trying to do something, to do a trade for a quarterback. So I'm waiting on the waivers, but worst case, I'm picking up Justin Fields and putting Jordan Love into a just dropping probably somebody like, oh no, I picked up Justin Fields. Oh, okay, so that went through, I guess, the other day. So I'll probably replace him with Justin Fields, so it'll be like 128 to 127. So it's pretty much 50-50. Keep that in mind. In fact, we can already go ahead and make that change right now as I'm kind of talking here. But Justin Fields, I think, against Denver is going to be a very favorable matchup for him. And so it really evens up the points, 129 to 228. So I'm slightly favored. But he is a dangerous fucking team. Derrick Henry, James Cook, Amon St. Brown, Mike Evans, George Kittle, Stephon Diggs, Patrick Mahomes. I got a dangerous team too, but that kind of scares me. I'm not going to lie. This is going to be a close matchup. This is a league I think could go either way. I'm not overly confident I'm going to be a contender, but I'm not overly confident I'm going to be like, I'm in contendership pretty much. And I'm 1-0 in this league. I won last week, which I guess that didn't pull up either, because I guess I didn't talk about it, did I? I guess for some reason ESPN is really weird about these, like not letting you go back and forth. But last week, what you do in Stepborough, Kirk Cousins, Kyron Williams, he was beating me by like 60 points at one point, and then like my team came in, Cooper Kupp and fucking CeeDee Lamb, I think, came in. They said, all right. Cooper Kupp said, all right. So we'll see. Kyron Williams, Josh Jacobs did pretty good. AJ Brown did pretty good. Nico Collins did pretty good. I like all their outlooks, to be honest with you. I like his team, except for Kirk Cousins. I think he's going to be not very good. After we saw him, go see my recap video to see that. But my team is pretty damn solid. This is a pretty damn solid squad, 145 points total. I know Cooper Kupp brought a lot of that in, but I feel pretty good. And I think I scored the second most points in the league. So we'll see. Robloxians is going to be definitely a biggest opponent. I know, again, I said I'm kind of in the middle. It's because this team is 10-man, so it's like any team feels like they could pop off. So I think week 1's just too early. I do think it could be easy, like I'm contendership level, but it's just tough to gauge at this point. Last week, we're going to our Yahoo, and this is PPR league, by the way. Going into this league, my Swift Justice League, I actually contended a lot more. I was behind like 80 points or something like that. Not 80, but I was behind like 50 points. And Breece Hall kind of brought me back a little bit, and so did somebody else, Jake Moody. They kind of brought me back into the game to a more comparable number, but it just wasn't enough. He had Mike Evans, he had Isaiah Pacheco, Cooper Kupp, Brandon Aubrey. They just destroyed me. And while I just didn't have anybody outstandingly perform, Kyler kind of was lackluster. Chris Olave, Michael Pittman, Breece Hall was just fine. Travis Etienne was just fine. James Cook was just fine. I didn't have anybody overperform except for Jake Moody, and you don't want your kicker being your best player in the fucking league. So it was an unfortunate matchup. I think this is a league I'm kind of just either way in. I think I could do fine. I think I could do not. I'm not really too keen on either one. I don't think in this league I picked up anybody. And actually going back to this, what's it called, PPR league, the only change I made was Jordan Love, and I forgot who I dropped, but it was nobody important. I think it was like, gosh, I can't even fucking remember. It was some receiver or some running back that I wasn't using. So Jaleel McLaughlin was the second best option to drop, but I like a little too much. So we'll see. And forgive me, I can't remember every single thing. There's a lot of things kind of juggling around my mind here. I kind of focus in on one at a time, and we'll see. This week I am favored to lose. And I kind of see why. Lamar Jackson, Tyreek Hill is just alone going to be a fucking hard matchup. Joe Mixon showed potential to do well, and he has decent depth here. And I think I got it pretty much good across the board. I just don't know if I have the explosiveness to take on Lamar Jackson and Tyreek Hill. We'll see, though. I'm not discouraged from it. I didn't make any changes in this league. I think I like my depth a lot. Christian Watson was a target in the end zone. Tony Pollard did well. Keon Coleman did well. Rico Dowdle, again, is an investment pick. Mike Williams is also an investment pick. Buffalo, good defense, but Kansas City against Cincinnati this week I think is going to just do better. And I didn't want to drop either one of them. I could drop Bills, but there was no favorable defenses on the waivers, so I'm not really too worried about it. But again, this could go either way. And this is a half PPR league. Super heavy into this league. This is a half PPR league as well. I don't feel good about this one at all. This is another league I am out of contendership. I feel like I feel like I have a great roster. This makes me feel like I have a great roster. But then I look at this scoreboard and I'm like, how the fuck am I going to compete with people who have Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Joe Mixon, Chris Godwin, all putting up these fucking points? Tua even. Like, I just got fucking destroyed in that sense. But also, all my players did very lackluster. So, like, I feel like there's a chance in some aspects. But, man, when you're also ranked 11th in points for right now, it's just a tough week. So we'll see as time goes on whether I actually do pan out to be better. I don't think there's no panic mode for me here. I have no trade options really unless I just get rid of Lamar Jackson, which I may or may not. I'll consider it. But otherwise, I didn't pick up anybody in this league either because, again, I like my depth. Oh, I did put Jonathan Brooks. No, I did drop somebody. Who did I drop? Oh, no, the waivers were still currently going. That's right. I had an open spot for some reason. I guess when I moved Jonathan Brooks, I never added somebody. So I don't know exactly who I'm going to add, but super heavy in this league. I'll probably add somebody like Rashid Shaheed is somebody I'm considering. Tank Bigsby is also a great running back for the league. Bucky Irving's still in this league, so I might take Bucky, actually. And Alan Lazard is a good option for Aaron Rodgers. So all those guys are kind of jumping in my mind, and I actually may drop Jalen Polk for another one of these guys because that's a deep class. And actually, let's kind of just go ahead and look because I think... Are we off the waivers now where I can actually, yeah, I can pick up the players now free of charge at this point. And actually, let's do it live here. So I think I'm favoring, so Rashid Shaheed went away, I think. So, oh, this is actual fantasy points, not projected. So I like looking at this better. Which, funny enough, I don't really like any of these guys. So I'm probably going to pick up Alan Lazard just to give him a shot, see if he continues to be one of his favorite targets. It's just he's a long-lasting target for Aaron Rodgers, so if Garrett Wilson doesn't do well, I feel like Alan Lazard is going to be the second option. And then running back wise, I have, of course, Tank Bigsby or Bucky Irving, and let's see if they're both still there. Actually, neither one of them is there, it looks like. So I didn't use the waivers just because I don't like using waivers unless I need to, and I didn't feel like I needed to. And honestly, Chuba might be actually a sneaky pickup. So, but I'm just going to check to make sure people did pick him up. Yeah, StraightA and then Tank Bigsby. Which, I mean, granted, very smart by them if people actually ended up taking all these guys. So, yeah, all these guys are gone. Boom, bada, bing. I will pick up Alan Lazard, though, at the very least. Just go ahead and do that free slot right there. Don't drop anybody. Boom, bada, bing. Now, I will go back to my players. Again, he's just good depth. He's good depth. I like it. And, again, I didn't use any fab or anything. I wasn't sold on Tank Bigsby. I wasn't sold on Bucky Irving because I think I'm fine when it comes to running backs. But, obviously, I'd love to get somebody, especially since I have Jonathan Brooks in this league. I think it's going to be damn good to pick up Chuba Hubbard. Do I love Chuba Hubbard? No. But I think he's a good pickup. And is this going to make me... Is this a fab league or is this a... Okay, this is a in-order league. So I have to kind of wait till... I have to wait till he clears. And that's 9/14. And let's see, y'all can't see on my screen, but that's Saturday. He plays on Sunday. I don't think he'll be a player I... prioritize to put into play, but we'll kind of see. Now, looking at this week's matchup, again, I kind of got destroyed last week. I'm not going to really comment on that one. This week, I feel okay about it. Lamar Jackson, I mean, this is a pretty even matchup. I know he has Christian McCaffrey, so that's going to hurt him. So I think I have a favored odds in this one, but it could go either way. I probably don't replace anybody here. Deontay Johnson, I'm still holding on hope that maybe Bryce Young can do something. But, man, it's tempting to start Zach Moss. I may be a last-minute decision. I may start Zach Moss. It's tough. But I like my depth, like everything going on here. And he has a decent team. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey helps carry a lot, and especially with Debo and Anthony Richardson being pretty good. I'm not going to complain. But this is a league I feel like I'm just behind in. It feels like I maybe still have a shot. Everybody still has a shot in week 1. Let that be known. But that's kind of where I'm classifying it. I feel like this is one of my lower-tier leagues. Then we're moving on to a league I actually feel okay in. And honestly, this is going to probably be one of the leagues I thought I was going to do bad in. But then I kind of just broke it down. This is a PPR league. and I lost by 12. So, or yeah, 14, sorry. But my team's really damn good. It's got good depth. Josh Allen's a great quarterback. Devontae Adams, Terry McLaurin, and Calvin Ridley all didn't do as well as you would hope. But I feel like they're guys that are going to pop off. So I'm not really worried about them at all. Breece Hall, DeAndre Swift. I mean, Breece Hall was obviously good. DeAndre Swift is shown to be part of that offense. And so I'm sneaky kind of excited about DeAndre Swift in that league, especially with Caleb Williams not doing so well and the weapons slowly going away on like the receiving core. I like DeAndre Swift there. Trey McBride, I think very solid. Joshua Palmer, less excited about. Dallas and Kyle Fairbairn, pretty damn good. Or they're fine, whatever. Not a big deal. Going to my actual matchup for this week, obviously I was 7th point scoring, so that also made me pretty excited. This guy is being weird and not starting anybody right now, but I think it's basically 50-50. If we actually, I think I have a slight favoritism to win, but I don't know. This guy just doesn't start anything, but he has a bunch of bench players of like Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Michael Pittman, A.J. Brown, Jaden Daniels, Jared Goff, Jaden Reed, all this kind of fucking stuff. He has good depth, good players, but I just don't love it either. So we'll see. I picked up Wan'Dale Robinson. I think I dropped somebody. But I don't really remember who. It was somebody unimportant. Nobody worth noting. And I actually put him in the lineup because, again, it's a PPR league, and he was getting hella targets. So I'm actually kind of excited to put him in the lineup. Everybody else is the same, though. Jerry Jeudy, again, is more of a store. Bucky Irving, more of a store. Demario Douglas, we'll see what happens. Zach Moss, we'll see what happens. Josh Palmer, I'm holding out hope that maybe he kind of emerges as a receiver, either him or Lad McConkey. Either way, I feel pretty good about this team. We'll see how it goes. Again, Connor's crazy team, very fucking weird. But I feel mediocre about this league. Obviously, I lost, so I'm 0-1. But then the final league is the 16-man standard scoring league, and I actually feel pretty good about this one, purely because I think in a 16-man league, I'm starting to see maybe some things tick by here a little bit for me. So here, okay, it doesn't really break down the players at all in this one, but okay, it kind of does right here. So as you see on the side, it's a little smaller on the screen here. But I had Sam Darnold versus Brock Purdy. So I have Sam Darnold, Rashad White, Bijan, Deontay, Debo, Dalton Kincaid, Devin Singletary, Jake Elliott, and Chicago Bears. Obviously, Chicago Bears secured me a lot here, but I would have won without them doing well. So that's very curious. Obviously, this guy didn't do very, very well at all. But the reason I'm excited is Rashad White and Bijan, very solid, good options. Sam Darnold's shown that maybe he can throw the rock a little bit. And once Russell Wilson comes back, he could be my other starter. Who knows? One of those guys will be the end-all, be-all when it comes to it. Deontay Johnson, I'm still banking on him panning out. If he doesn't, I have Lad McConkey in the bench, but we'll talk about him in a second. Debo, again, in the standard scoring league, I like it because, again, he gets the handoffs and the receptions. Dalton Kincaid, I think he's going to pan out. He's going to be fine. Devin Singletary is a workhorse of that, so in this 16-man league, I'll take him as a flex option. Jake Elliott and Chicago Bears plus some other players I'm pretty happy with. Now, the reason I'm not overly confident is that there's several players who did score in the hundreds, and I didn't score in the hundreds. But I also think this was not a good week for me. So we'll see is the kind of the answer I'm going to give here. But also, I think my week 2 is pretty damn good. This guy did win 1-0. So he's also in the contention here. But he has Caleb Williams. I don't love him. David Montgomery, Najee Harris are very hit or miss. Mike Evans and Garrett Wilson also, I think, could be, they could flop here. George Kittle, Jaden Reed. He has good depth. I'm not going to deny that at all. Of course, I do have like Mike Williams as an investment pick. I think he's going to pan out. Lad McConkey, Jordan Addison when he comes back. Justice Hill, I think will be fine. Chiefs defense against Cincinnati. Jake Elliott against the Falcons. Everybody's pretty much the same here. I didn't really change anything. There's like nobody on the waivers, so I'm not too excited about being in free agency here. And there's no way to trade reasonably in this league. It feels like, so we're going to stick to our guns. But I am favored to win by like. Oh no, I'm favored to lose by 0.4 now. I guess it adjusted. I think it was a different thing where I was like 0.4 ahead or something, but now he's 0.4 ahead. So it's pretty much 50-50 though. I'm pretty excited about this. So we'll see. This is a league I just find interesting. It's a $20 16-man league, standard scoring, so it's a little bit nothing else, but I enjoy it nonetheless. And guys, I did this in under 30 minutes. I'm pretty happy about that. That's kind of my initial thoughts about everything fantasy related in terms of my teams, my outlook, my previous week, who I picked up, stuff like that. If you want any other people that you think might be available to pick up, I know in one league, Lockett and Wan'Dale Robinson, Zeke were available at one point. Alec Pierce is available in this league, and so is Alan Lazard. So I considered maybe picking those guys up, but I'm not sold on it because I don't really want to drop anybody. Maybe Dameon Pierce, but that's about it. But also look at, Rashid Shaheed if he's available in your league. I'd say, Alexander Madison, Tank Bigsby, Bucky Irving. Other than that, there probably wouldn't be anybody else that's too available in your leagues that I would recommend. But good guys to pick up nonetheless in all these leagues. We'll see how it pans out, but I feel pretty good. At least 4 leagues are 1-0, so I can feel pretty good about that. And hopefully you guys are 1-0 in your leagues as well. Let's go into week 2 with even better record. I'll see you guys in the next one. StraightA Dawson, out of here.